Paris Campbell's injury update has been a tough pill for Cowboys fans to swallow, especially considering how important every roster spot is at this stage of the season. Campbell's dealing with what the team calls a deflating injury, which has unfortunately set him back during a critical time when he's trying to prove he belongs on this roster. If you've been following the Cowboys per season, you know the competition for wide receiver spots is fierce, and any injury can make or break a player's chances. Campbell's situation is even more frustrating because he's shown flashes of talent and versatility in the past, but now those flashes are overshadowed by the uncertainty his injury brings. The exact nature of Campbell's injury isn't a headline-grabbing one like an ACL tear, but it's enough to slow him down and limit his ability to perform at 100%. And in the NFL, especially during roster cutdowns, being less than fully healthy can be the difference between making the team and being left on the sidelines. Cowboys fans have grown hopeful every time Campbell gets a few snaps in preseason games, only to see him struggle a bit because of the injury. It's a frustrating cycle, one where you want to root for a guy who clearly wants to contribute, but the injury keeps getting in the way. What makes this even more painful is knowing that Campbell has been fighting hard to earn his spot on the roster. He's not just some name on the depth chart, he's been working too. Show the coaches that he can be a reliable option both as a receiver and on special teams. But with this injury hanging over him, questions are being raised. Can Campbell recover quickly enough? Will he be ready in time for the regular season? And most importantly, does the Cowboys coaching staff still believe in him enough to keep him around? Let me ask you, how worried are you about Paris Campbell's chances now? Do you think he can bounce back and secure his place with the Cowboys this season? Vote yes or no in the comments below. And if you want to keep up with every update on Campbell and the rest of the Cowboys roster battles, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We've got all the latest news right here on Cowboys News TV. The battle for a roster spot at wide receiver on the Cowboys is nothing short of intense, and Paris Campbell finds himself right in the thick of it. The Cowboys have a crowded receiver room, and every player is fighting hard to prove they deserve a spot when the final roster decisions come down. For Campbell, this competition is especially tough given his injury, but it's far from over. Other receivers are making strong cases, young guys showing promise, veterans with solid track records, and special teams contributors who bring extra value. It's a classic NFL showdown where talent, health, and versatility all play a role. The coaching staff is keeping a close eye on Campbell despite his setbacks because they know what he's capable of when he's fully healthy. He's got the speed and route-running ability that can create matchup problems for defenses. But right now, Campbell needs to prove he can contribute not just as a receiver, but also on special teams, which is often a key factor for players on the roster bubble. The Cowboys value players who can wear multiple hats, and Campbell's ability to make plays on returns or coverage units could be what tips the scales in his favor. That said, the clock is ticking, and every practice and preseason snap counts. Campbell has to show that he can stay on the field and perform consistently. Meanwhile, other receivers like rookie standouts and seasoned veterans are pushing hard, making it clear that Campbell can't take anything for granted. The pressure is on, but it's also an opportunity. If he can shake off this injury and remind the coaches why he deserves a roster spot, he could still carve out a meaningful role this season. Now, I want to hear from you. Who do you think should make the final cut at wide receiver for the Cowboys? Are you rooting for Campbell, or do you have your eyes on another player? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell if you haven't already. Staying connected means you won't miss any of these roster updates as the Cowboys make their final decisions. If Paris Campbell can overcome this injury, the Cowboys have some real options to maximize his talents this season. We know Campbell isn't just a one-trick pony. He brings versatility that could be valuable in different phases of the game. For starters, special teams might be where he makes the biggest impact initially. His speed and agility make him a natural fit on kick and punt coverage units, and coaches love having reliable, dynamic players in those roles. If Campbell can excel there, it increases his value on the roster and gives him a better shot at staying active on game day. Offensively, Campbell could also slide into the slot receiver role in certain packages, giving the Cowboys another weapon to create mismatches against opposing defenses. The coaching staff is known for their creativity, so don't be surprised if they come up with gadget plays or motion sets that utilize Campbell's quickness and route running skills. The goal would be to get him open quickly and give Dak Prescott another reliable option, especially if other receivers go down or struggle. The key for Campbell is showing that he's healthy enough to contribute consistently and that he's a team player willing to help wherever the coaches need him. We've seen in the past how players who embrace multiple roles, from offense to special teams, tend to stick around longer and get more chances to prove themselves. For Campbell, this could be his path back into the lineup, but it all depends on how he recovers and performs in practice and limited game action. What do you think? Will the Cowboys find a creative way to get Campbell on the field this season? Yes or no? Let me know your vote in the comments below. And if you want to keep hearing about how players like Campbell fit into the Cowboys' plans, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Paris Campbell's injury doesn't just affect him, it has ripple effects on the entire Cowboys receiving corps and even the offensive game plan. When a player like Campbell, who offers speed and versatility, is limited or unavailable, it puts more pressure on the other wideouts to step up and fill those roles. The Cowboys have a solid group of receivers, but depth is always a concern in the NFL, especially with the physical nature of the game. Losing or having a slowed down Campbell means fewer options for Dak Prescott when the defense tightens coverage. This could force the Cowboys to rely more heavily on their top receivers or lean on tight ends and running backs to pick up the slack. It also might impact how the offense schemes its passing game, possibly limiting the quick-hitting plays and motion routes that Campbell would typically help execute. Coaches may need to adjust, especially early in the season, while waiting to see if Campbell can get back to full strength. Of course, the Cowboys will have backup plans ready. There's always someone ready to step up, but Campbell's injury highlights just how important every piece is in this puzzle. It also puts a spotlight on the team's ability to manage injuries and keep their skill positions healthy. For fans watching closely, the question becomes, is the receiving corps deep enough to handle these challenges if Campbell can't contribute right away? I want to know what you think. Do you feel confident about the Cowboys' receiving depth without Campbell at 100%? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay ahead of all the roster updates and injury news, make sure you subscribe to Cowboys News TV and turn on notifications you won't want to miss a beat this season. To wrap things up, Paris Campbell's injury update serves as an important reminder of just how tough and competitive the NFL can be, especially for players on the roster bubble. The Cowboys are facing some tough decisions, and Campbell's situation is definitely one to watch closely in the coming weeks. Whether he can overcome this injury and make an impact will not only affect his own career, but could influence how the Cowboys shape their receiving corps and special teams units. As fans, it's natural to hope for the best, to see a player like Campbell bounce back, contribute on the field, and prove the doubters wrong. But it's equally important to keep an eye on the facts and the realities of roster battles, injuries, and team needs. The next few weeks of practice reports and preseason performances will tell us a lot about Campbell's trajectory. Keep an eye out for any news about his progress, how the coaches talk about him, and, of course, how the depth chart shapes up as the Cowboys finalize their roster. If you've been following this story and the Cowboys roster moves, I want to say thank you for tuning in and being part of the conversation here on Cowboys News TV. If you haven't already, Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss updates like this. And before you go, drop a comment below with your prediction. Do you think Paris Campbell will make the final Cowboys roster this season? I'm really curious to hear what you think. Stay positive, stay engaged, and as always, thanks for being a true Cowboys fan. We'll keep bringing you all the latest news, injury updates, and inside looks at the team as the season approaches.